If you're feeling stuck and it's getting worse, and you feel increasingly uncomfortable, then this routine is just what you need. Do them regularly, and you'll be amazed at the results. I'm Liebscher Bracht, and I'll help you do these exercises often, so you feel much better. Print out this motivational calendar from the link below the video. Go ahead. We are now doing a series of exercises designed to help make your fascial muscles more flexible, so that you feel more flexible overall. That's our goal. Please begin by getting down to the 4-point position. If you can't kneel, place a soft cushion underneath. Then turn your right hand outward as far as possible until your fingers point towards your right knee. And with your left hand, you should do exactly the same. And then you will likely feel the tension on the inside of your wrists. And now you go really gently and incredibly slowly. Keep moving your hips backward. And make sure you breathe nice and deeply as you do so. Take a deep breath in and exhale fully. And each time you breathe out, gently enhance the stretch just a little more than before. You should experience a clear and distinct stretching pain, but it should not be so intense or overwhelming that you perceive it as negative. That's the true art, to consistently master it more and more while practicing just as intensely as before. As much as necessary, but going in just enough or little enough that you still enjoy it. So if you realize it's tormenting you too much and you don't feel like it, don't want to torture yourself, then you're too deeply involved. But if you start getting bored, you're not deep enough into it. Keep moving further back. And make sure that your wrists don't lift off the ground as much as possible. And then you gradually increase it further. Very nice. Keep going. And take a deep breath in and deep breath out. And if you're somewhat comfortable with the positions, then try experimenting by deepening the stretch when you're in the exhalation cycle, because that's the time when the body naturally relaxes and it becomes significantly easier for you to stretch further in a more controlled way. Gently begin to move back. And then gradually forward again. As you do this forward motion, take your time to carefully rotate your wrists. And maintain that position, making sure to place your toes on the mat, then shift slightly back and really stretch towards your buttocks. Keep going further back until you're gradually finding yourself more on your feet, almost as if you're standing more solidly grounded in this balanced way. Through this gradual adjustment, you'll eventually find yourself aligning in both a stable and natural manner. That you start to notice how your ankles and toes are being beautifully stretched and elongated, enjoying a wonderful sense of flexibility in this position. If you lean back excessively, there's inadequate pressure being applied to the toes, and if you lean forward too much, then there's not a sufficient amount of bend or flex in the ankle joint. You have to try going into that middle area where you feel your instep is being pressed to your shin. You can also shift a bit, move a bit backwards. That way it relieves some pressure, the toes get a bit of a break, and then move a bit further forwards again, pull the toes in more and alternate between these movements a bit. Then you'll experience a really wonderful release of tension all around, focused on the calf and extending to the feet, even all the way back. Do you feel it? Up into the calf area, there's a deep-lying muscle that is very much involved with problems related to the Achilles tendon. This will be nicely stretched and extended. Simply let gravity continue to do its work naturally. Just allow gravity to naturally do its work. And gradually, gently press the foot in the direction of the knee. Remember to breathe nicely. Move a little further back, and now you'll find that the ankle is more in place again, like this. Then let's go way back, that's the ankle, going further and further in. And then gently and gradually back out again. With that movement, we're already pretty well prepared to transition into the 4-point position, elongating the feet. Now the next step takes us in the opposite direction. And then you gently shift your hips further and further back. Ideally, for the initial step, you would want to settle into this position smoothly. However, if you find yourself here, then focus on working at this point and continuously strive a little more each time to gradually get your hips further back. And keep working in that manner to see improvements. And if you're able to let go already, then draw in your belly button firmly and hold it tight and make several attempts to cautiously move your upper body even further back with careful, gradual movements. You can steadily move your hands further back, allowing yourself to gently and gradually sink deeper and deeper downwards into this position. Very good. Make sure not to forget to keep breathing deeply because it significantly eases the process for you. This can assist you to settle more comfortably into the stretch. The shoulders also need to be stretched a bit in the process. Go even deeper with the elbow, downwards. As I mentioned before, pay close attention to the stomach, making sure it is clearly pulled inwards and drawn back as it should be, you know. And then you gradually move back out and go forward into the 4-point position, like this. You essentially arch your back upwards, gradually shift your hips towards the front, and then gently allow yourself to sag and relax. And now we are going to do some exercises that involve using support in case you're unable to hold it. From the moment you feel you can't hold it anymore, simply switch over to your couch or perhaps to a comfortable chair, a soft cushion, much like the one I have here. And then you don't need to hold it. I'll just stay in this position now. Could we consider doing this together maybe? And if you rest your arms, then you should consciously allow your groin to gradually hang further down towards the floor while carefully pulling your belly button inward. Attempt to pull in your belly button and you'll observe that you quite naturally come out of the hollow back a little bit. Consequently, the overextension gradually shifts more into the hip area, leading to a better posture. Just keep letting it sag beautifully. And breathe in and out very deeply. Remember to breathe in real deep. If you happen to find that you maybe can't even manage to support yourself with your elbows, then just lie down completely with your entire chest and stomach area comfortably resting onto the couch surface. You really have to hold yourself even less in this position, so you should certainly be able to manage one of those options. And then make sure that every time you go through this exercise, by the way, feel free to comment below on how many times you've already done this exercise. Write down how many times you've done this exercise. And then allow your hips to hang more and more, beautifully each time. You then gradually start to come out of it. Just take a brief moment to go into the counter movement. I'll demonstrate it without a stool now, but you have the option to keep the stool or remain by the couch. And we slowly return to this position. However, with the right knee extended outwards, you'll definitely notice that it might pull more intensely, not only in the groin area, but also along the inner side of the right thigh. And afterwards, you allow yourself to gracefully sag increasingly more, breathing even deeper and deeper into it. Put your left foot down, let it go down, then you'll notice, oh, it stretches differently, feels different. Then you place it down again and notice, yes, now I feel it more in the groin, more in the back perhaps, and in the whole front hip area. Do you feel the same? It may vary from person to person. And on the right, you can feel it more distinctly on the inner part of the thigh. And then you allow both the right and left groin areas to gradually and evenly sink down as far as possible. Gravity does essentially the work. Gravity now pulls more and more. The body downward. And then the fascia gives in, the muscles give in. And all of this gradually makes you more flexible. You'll definitely notice the difference. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Continue to stretch further and further, and then gradually rise up briefly. Take a brief moment. Transition into the counter movement, moving very slowly, particularly if you're attempting such exercises for the first time or haven't done them frequently. And stretch it out again, allowing it to hang nicely and freely. Now proceed by extending the left knee outward once more, ensuring it's well positioned. Now, extend the left knee outwards and gently let the right hip sink down further towards the ground. Try your best to gently release all of the built-up tension from your legs. It must pull a little. Consciously relax and gently release your legs. Consciously let go, allowing yourself to sink further down. And always remember, if you can't hold it with your arms, this is also a great stabilization exercise for the shoulder and arm strength. However, if you can't hold it any longer before you stop doing the exercise, simply move to the couch, the armchair, or even the cushion. And then it's way more relaxed for your whole arm and shoulder area. And you keep sinking deeper. Just keep letting yourself sink deeper and deeper, fully letting go. We are working very intensively in this exercise, stretching those front shortenings, because if the mobility there is improved, you'll feel it throughout the whole body as it significantly impacts everything. Works much more easily, is much more flexible, and has much less tension. And then you slowly and carefully come back out. And now we also smoothly transition into the counter movement, guiding the hips in the direction of the heels, and then you gently lower your torso a little bit downwards. Very slowly, gradually and gently easing your way forward. Then we sit up straight for a short moment. And now we are going to maintain this current position, but we'll support ourselves from the side, down with the knee. Now we've found ourselves in a kind of semi-angled position. At this point, you often become aware of a feeling as though it's pulling quite distinctly on the left hip bone. Then direct your attention and carefully focus on your left iliac crest, especially in the exact spot where you can really feel it, and allow that entire iliac crest to keep gradually and steadily moving further downward. Regarding your position, it's genuinely not an issue at all. If you can't comfortably maintain it, just rest your left forearm on the couch or chair to help you relax and unwind fully. If your arms are unable to manage it, I would really recommend doing it for as long as you can hold it and then only switch over to the easier position afterward, so you can fully maintain that beneficial training effect. That way, your arms and shoulders keep getting stronger. Yes, because they can only do that if you challenge them. If you make the work too easy from the start, you don't get any training. You always have to ensure that you're staying in that middle range, you know? This way, you're not doing too little, nor are you doing too much. And while I am explaining this to you, your left groin is gradually and steadily continuing to lower even further down towards the ground. Really focus on actively letting go where you sense the tension. Simply release it. And then we will gradually and slowly come out. Regain your balance. Carefully place down as far as you can manage and gradually shift a little forward, extending as far as feels comfortable for you. And briefly, go into the normal position. Proceed by doing the exact same process with the other side. Gently position the right foot to the side, ensuring the left knee is relaxed. As you ease it down and guide the right hip to gradually sink down, repeating the process once again as before. You must feel the pull. Right hip bone region. Keep consistently moving further downward. Take nice deep breaths, really breathe mindfully and with intention. It's best if you can do some belly breathing. If you can, engage belly breathing. That means when you inhale, the belly expands. While exhaling, it goes in slightly. And essentially, let yourself lean into gravity and allow gravity to perform the task for you. Let gravity slowly increase your flexibility. And don't forget to comment on how many times you've done this workout. Yes, this routine. Deep in, deep out breathing. Sink further and further in. With the right hip bone? Yes, okay. Consistently get closer to the ground. And then, just like that, gradually make your way out again. Take your time to come out slowly and then balance yourself out once more. And move your whole body a bit. And now it's the very last variation of these kind of exercises. Try again, first holding yourself with your arm and only then switch to the couch. Now you go. Sideways. Position your right leg exactly like that. Rotate your hips until you really feel the maximum stretch. And allow your left hip to sink gracefully and fully all the way down. And at the same time, you push the left shoulder upwards. And then you'll notice not only in the left hip region, but also in the left side of your torso, somewhat higher along the side of the torso, the enhanced tension, how it practically extends beyond the pelvis. And that is, of course, the hardest hold position, because you're only on one arm now. But keep in mind, the couch isn't exactly soft. The moment you can't go on anymore, just go ahead and comfortably lean on it using your forearm. Or even with the side of the rib cage. If you want to leave your arms entirely out of it, the couch just needs to be high enough. But most of the time, the height is enough. Keep breathing nicely and let yourself sink in deeper and deeper. If you're not experiencing any stretch at all, or it's too minimal, you just need to gently rotate your hip a little bit more to the left. Then you often notice more. And continue to let it sink down gently. Then carefully raise it up slowly once again. And return to the previous position once more. And now I'll stay like this so you can see me from the front. And now supported on the right side. Continue allowing it to sag without interruption. Once again, carefully try to rotate your pelvis until you realize, aha, it's at this moment that it's stretching the most. And where it stretches the most, you stay there. Where do you feel the stretch? On the right hip, so on the right pelvis. And the more you also let the right shoulder be pushed up by the arm, because gravity practically pushes the arm into the shoulder, axially. The more you notice how the stretch extends beyond the pelvis, into the lateral torso area moving upward. Take deep breaths slowly. And simply enjoy yourself as you feel how it pulls more and more from the side. Keep continuously checking where you can make the stretch even more noticeable. Let your shoulders relax a bit more and rotate your pelvis slightly further, that you gradually ease more and more into it. And with this entire sequence of exercises, we work to counterbalance sitting too much, which usually causes muscles and fascia to be tense and shortened. And that's what we want to prevent. The more you do it, the more effective it is. So do it regularly. Make use of the motivation calendar for that. And then we will slowly go out again. And now let's move over to the opposite. Now we're going, so to speak, into the reaction where the tension constantly builds up at the back because everything at the front becomes too short. And then you notice you're pulling yourself further and further forward, and you can feel the stretches in the lower back area. Gently pull yourself further forward. Breathe deeply and fully into it. And now we've reached the back extensors, those areas where your masseurs or masseuse often point out tension, a full blockage, or tell you that everything is completely tight. Let's gradually and steadily start to loosen things up now. And if you're finding it completely impossible to reach your feet at all, then you take a towel or a stretching strap, wrap it around your feet, and pull yourself forward with the towel. Continue to release and relax your lower back, gradually more and more. You become aware of it when you find that your elbows are able to bend more and more easily over time. If you're too far forward, then you can move your buttocks a little bit backwards. And then you notice the stretch starts more at the bottom, right above the pelvis. Because the angle has changed again as a result, keep descending deeper and deeper downward all the time. And then slowly and steadily make your way back out again. And now, let's go into the twisting motion once again. This essentially means that you should take your right leg and gently position it over the left one. And afterward, rotate your torso precisely as far to the right as you comfortably can, while also turning your head towards the right side as well. You can gently use your right hand to pull your head further to the right, effectively enhancing and deepening the twist. That means your left hand, you can use that to hold onto your right leg firmly. Meanwhile, the right hand pulls your head, and in doing so, the entire torso gradually further to the right side. And you'll typically feel the stretch right here in this specific area. Right pelvis, above, beneath, all the way down to the thigh, in that region. Make sure to keep your right leg straightened out, then proceed to pull it more clearly once more. Continue gently pulling the head over further. This is also a wonderfully liberating exercise, which at first feels somewhat strenuous. Be sure to consistently keep your effort below the threshold where it becomes excessively intense. Remain just within that zone of comfortable pain. And continue rotating further to the right. The stretch should be just at that threshold where you're still comfortably able to bear it. Then, move your right leg along with you. Gently ease out of the stretch and then smoothly return back into it once more. Shift to the other side. And gently extend your left leg out flat for added stability. With your left arm, apply a gentle but steady pressure to gradually guide your head towards the left, helping to achieve a deep, soothing stretch that not only enhances flexibility but also promotes comfort and relaxation throughout your body. The right hand holds your left thigh tightly, and then you keep pulling more and more. Rotate the torso towards the left. and then gently pull the head even further inwards. And tune into the sensations, noticing how and where it consistently gives in. You usually become aware of it with the clothing, realizing that the body somehow moves away under the fabric, or the clothing then tightens in a different way. You can notice how your stretch is increasing. Make sure that your left leg is as straight as possible and keep moving slowly. Further over. Towards the left side, turn your head to the left and make sure your torso is also directed that way. Keep it going. Turn left. Take a deep breath. Inhale fully and then exhale slowly. And with each exhale, make an effort to reach just a little bit further inward and then gradually begin to come back out again. And let's take a brief moment to quickly assess where I currently am and at this stage. We'll carefully move our hands even further outwards, aiming to achieve a position where they might form an angle of approximately 45 degrees in both upwards and outwards directions, gently ensuring to push the upper portion of the sternum gradually deeper and deeper inwards. And now you're feeling a pull in the shoulders, extending into the upper arms, with one elbow in, maybe reaching further down into the forearm. And if you realize you're going too deep, then simply adjust by moving your hands a little further. Forward. Then, most of the time, the stretch is less intense, and you don't need to worry about accidentally landing on the mat with your nose. And once again, at this point, you are experiencing a very, very liberating stretch indeed. It's a sensation where your flexibility doesn't just improve but visibly increases, making you feel significantly better almost immediately. Be attentive and ensure that the upper end of your sternum is gradually sinking deeper and deeper. Not the head goes lower, but the upper torso goes lower. And breathe in nicely again. Deeply in, deeply out, and increasingly. Build up this stretch. Use your breathing, especially focus on your exhalation. And feel deeply how you gradually sink deeper and deeper. And then we increase the intensity by further extending our reach, moving our hands forward while keeping the elbows fully extended, and basically carrying out the same motion again, but this time we do it from this particular angle, where the arms are roughly parallel to one another. You will notice at this stage, it generally feels considerably more challenging. Gradually extend your sternum in the direction towards your knees to achieve a stretch. Ensure you continually make an earnest effort to keep your elbows completely straightened. And with your extended elbows, take these along and bring the sternum lower each time. And breathe, take a deep breath in. And deep breathe out and come a little deeper. And once more, take a deep breath in. And breathe deeply out and come a little bit deeper. And take a deep breath in again. And breathe deeply out and a little deeper. Continue to gradually increase the stretch. Keep making sure that the arms stay straight. Yes, concentrate on doing lots of fine-tuning now. The arms should be completely straightened. Actively reach all the way out into the full extension. Gradually allow the chest to move closer towards your knee, focusing intently on the movement of the sternum. Then gently return slowly to the starting point. And now, just take a moment to really feel into it. Can you sense how it has brought such a profound and complete relaxation to the shoulder area? Amazing mobility, and even the neck is suddenly free without us having done any work on it.